Welcome everyone to Charts Focus 1, where we teach you how to work hard and trade smart. In this live stream recap video, I want to go over the analysis that I gave on SPY to my members when the market was live, and I want to give you guys a reason why I think SPY will move in this way, in this pattern, and I also want to give you guys and show you the results that are happening right now from that analysis on SPY futures. All right, now before you guys watch this video though, I want you guys to pause this video and go to my most recently uploaded video, which was a video that I only sent out to my CFOSW Watch members on Sunday, but I chose to publicly publish that video last night. And the reason why I want you guys to look at that video first is that I say something very, very important about the broader markets, specifically SPY. So make sure you guys watch that video first and then come back to this video. All right, so I want to first start off with the hourly time frames. So on the 2 hour, one of my favorite hourly time frames. Now, why am I looking at this time frame? Well, there was something that I noticed on SPY this week, right, at the start of this week, which is today. And I noticed that we've been making this rounding base here, right? And when I look back in the previous data points that we have so far, which was at the end of September and early October, we did the same thing, right? Where we started rounding and then we made one new low for 2022. And then we skyrocketed higher with a nice gap up. And we're eventually able to hit a critical level of resistance around 378.50. Now, I'll go more into this level, but just remember this level. Now, as we're making this rounding base here, I said, there's a good chance that we should be able to see a nice move up higher by the end of this week. Now, that's what I truly believed in. However, I was not expecting us to gap up today at market open for the start of this new trading week all the way up to 367, because this level was a kind of a ideal level that I was looking for to the upside for the end of this week, literally by Friday. And unfortunately, but fortunately as well, I have to broaden my horizons here. I have to broaden my price targets here and look further to the upside, because just based off of these two rounding bottoms here and based on the breakout that we had off of the previous rounding bottom, I had to look further, which is the reason why this 378.50 level is very, very significant for this week. Now, we also have a very critical level of 370.50. Okay, so if you go back on the daily time frame, you guys can clearly tell, let me get rid of these first, that the 370.50 or 370.20-ish level, it doesn't really matter, but I tend to use whole number levels to make things easier when I do the math. This 370.50 level has been a huge resistance and support level since the end of September and the start of October. Now, one disclaimer, okay, before I move on. TradingView tends to glitch sometimes. I don't know what's going on their end, on the developers, but it tends to show a gap fill that we've never had ever before. So on October 4th, we never had this gap fill, right? Do you guys see this this doji, right? Excuse me, not doji. This lower shadow or lower wick. And if you take a look at today as well, we have this lower shadow or lower wick, which never happened. This never occurred, right? The price never went all the way back down and filled in the gap, right? So the chart is lying to us because of a coding error, probably, right? It's an error on the developer side. So don't think that we have filled in the gap and then had a nice inverted reversal to the upside, because we didn't. We actually opened up a lot to the upside, and we opened up around 364. So don't get fooled. Do not get fooled by my charts here. Do not. So with SPY here, with that being said, on the daily time frame, I had to broaden my horizons, right? My price targets here, and try to look for a bigger price target. So eventually I settled up with 378.50 for this week. Now, why do I say this? Because if you take a look on, I would say, even the 2 hours. Let's go back to the 2 hour time frame. I mean, maybe even 1 hour for more data. Doesn't really matter, guys. All hourly time frames will show basically the same data. If you want to see more data, then you go smaller on the time frames. If you want less data, then you go bigger on the time frames, right? It's a very, very simple process and very logical thing to do. But on the hourly time frame, right? If we take a look on Friday's price action, okay, so I told this to my CFOSW Watch members in the Discord on Friday as well when I was live streaming, that this looks like very good consolidation, right? And how do we know this? Well, if I go even further down on the 15-minute time frame, okay, let's look at the smaller time frames now for more data points. What happened on Friday was that we had an initial sell-off, and this sell-off occurred when we reached that 370.50 level. Remember, that is a critical level of resistance on the daily time frame. Remember these levels. And we were able to come back down and kind of bounce around the 367 level that we reached today. And remember, that level was a level that I was expecting to see by the end of this new trading week, not by today. So as we bounced around this 367 level, we saw an immediate flush down. Now, this impulsive selling to the downside was caused by mostly the buyers who were selling their position that got in on Thursday, right? And remember, Thursday was a historical reversal day. So you guys have to remember to watch the video first, the most recently uploaded video first, the video that I only send out to my CFOSW Watch members on Sunday. So with this flush came with a lot of sellers, shorters, right, who are trying to take redemption into the losses that they sustained on Thursday, right? So we got the initial movement down. Now, what came after was really, really good textbook consolidation. And this is where people were confused about, for the fact that maybe we can see another low again, maybe a revisit of the current low that we made on Thursday, and maybe even push past below that low and make a new 2022 low, right, for the third time for the past couple of weeks. So they were completely wrong, because as we were moving lower, guess what we were doing? We were moving sideways and then dropping a little bit lower, moving sideways and then dropping a little bit lower, and moving sideways, and we closed a little bit lower, right? And this is a very, very good consolidation pattern. And guess what? This consolidation just so happened to be occurring around the range of this impulsive movement higher that we saw on Thursday, right? So what does this indicate? This indicates and gives us a sign that people were either adding on to the positions here on SPY, whoever bought on Thursday, or there are people who are buying the dip who couldn't buy the dip on Thursday, and they're adding new positions on SPY, right? So it's a combination of those two situations. And that's what we got here as we started to move sideways, and then the selling came in again, the slight selling with low volume from people who were, again, either selling from the previous day of that huge reversal day, or people who are trying to short every single chance they get on the intraday time frames because they're trying to get redemption from the movement that they saw on the previous day, right? Now, this is very important because we are able to break to the upside, confirming that we are indeed seeing some consolidation and digestion of the move higher that we saw on Thursday. So with this movement higher and gap up, where we gapped up basically 2% plus, we're able to hit 367 first. So we met our maximum target for SPY for this week. Now, if I go back on the daily time frame, right, I want you guys to take note of another specific pattern here, right? So I also mentioned this in my live after I showed my members everything that I just shown you guys right now. And I said, okay, we've reached this 367 level, right? And on the 15-minute time frame, because we were looking at the 15-minute time frame for most of the day, because I said, look, it looks like we're going to consolidate ideally around 367. I want us to oscillate up and down between this level here. And guess what? We did exactly that as well. So far, everything is going perfectly well. Everything's going ideal, right? And if I redraw my lines again here, you guys can clearly tell that we have this wedge chart pattern forming, or you guys can see it as a bull flag where we can see a flagpole that was made overnight with that gap up, and then that continuous push up higher after market open, and then the wedge as the flag to complete the bull flag on the intraday time frames. So this is inherently bullish, right? And the fact that we had moved up higher and overnight over the weekend, right, from the consolidation just confirms that yes, these were just people who are just selling here and then buying here as well, which resulted in some nice consolidation and digestion of the historical move that we had on Thursday. Okay, so that's a quick summary there. Now, using that information, right, we were able to close around 367. And I also told my CFOSW Watch members before market close that I want to see at least a very, very, near close to 367. I don't care if it's above 367 or below 367. I just want a nice, very, very close price to 367 as the closing price. And we got that. Now, what does this remind me of? Why did I say that? Why would I want to see a close near 367? Well, if we take a look at the first candlestick of October, which was October 3rd on Monday, right? We did exactly the same thing, right? And this 367 level, we're able to kind of pop above it, retest the 10 SMA and come back down and slightly close below it. And what happened next? All right, what happened next? We saw a huge gap up overnight above 370.50, and we continued to push up higher until we hit 378.50, right? And obviously everything went downhill after that because of, well, I've given you guys the reasons in that previous video that I've uploaded for you guys, so make sure you guys watch that video. But as we were moving up higher, okay, on this week, right, this was a large move, right? I remember thinking that, wow, this could potentially be the reversal that we're looking for the October seasonality. So that's factor number one, or catalyst number one. And then number two, or catalyst number two, or factor number two, we have midterm elections coming up on November 8th for the United States, right? So we tend to get, on historical trend-wise, we tend to get price trends to move up higher into midterm elections. It also combines with the October seasonality when prices tend to recover from a large downtrend, and they have a nice short period of a reversal. So that's what happened at the start of October, as people were immediately, very, very quick, bullish at the start of October, right? But now, with the action that we saw today, there is a great chance that we can see the same thing because, well, what did we do today? We retested the 21 SMA this time after holding above the 10 SMA all day today. We did not break below 366 and eventually below 365, which would have led us to start filling the gap and hitting new low today. But instead of doing that, we formed that nice bull flag on the 15-minute time frame, and we continue to oscillate up and down between 366 and 367, eventually closing slightly below 367, just cents away, right? And we should be able to see the same type of action that we saw on October, right? Because that's not too far away. And remember, people have short-term memory, so they're going to remember the most recent data points. And here is the result, right? So the moment that you guys have been waiting for. So that's the entire analysis that I've been looking at, and I've given today during the live stream when the market was open. All right, here we go. So SPY futures. Look at that. We gapped up overnight, okay, for this new SPY futures candlestick, which will carry on over to tomorrow morning and until the market closes. And we are about gaining about around, I would say, more than 2% here at the high, right? And this is just confirming what we should be seeing tomorrow, right? Now, I don't think we're going to retest 378.50 like we saw on the first week of October, but at least I want us to see a retest of 370.50 and eventually around 375. And based on ES here, okay, I think we're going to definitely have a nice gap up above that 370.50 level on SPY on the daily time frame. And there's a huge possibility that we can continue to move up higher for the rest of this week based on the price action that we're seeing on SPY futures right now. So this is the result of the analysis that I gave to my CFOSW Watch members, which is also the reason why I gave them a nice SPY call contracts that they can swing for this week and for the next couple of weeks if we decide to, again, give in to the October seasonality and into the midterm elections as well. All right, so hopefully that was a nice quick video on what happened and the very, very nice breakdown of what we discussed in the CFO Discord live stream. And if you guys have enjoyed what I said today, make sure you guys leave a like down below. And if you guys are new, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Now, remember guys, make sure you guys watch that video that I've uploaded last night. It's very, very crucial and essential that you guys watch it before you guys watch this video. All right. But if you guys want a nice refresher on what I said on the video last night, watch that again and then come back to this video. It will connect everything into one consolidated analysis. All right. Thank you all for listening.